A bloop.
I did get a lot of people saying that they thought the opening was funny. By a lot, I mean 2. That's a lot to me.
Yeah, that's a lot in general. Like, I told Will, I was like, I have 3 pre-orders. And then I'm like, and I know them all. And that's okay. All right? Because some people don't even get that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And like to have some support of friends and family and colleagues is like a big thing, you know?
I'm J.R. Phillips. I'm the one that won't shut up, and yeah, you can't make me, okay?
And I'm Nico Harlekenden. I'm the one who took notes, lit them on fire, and then started a completely separate new project instead.
And welcome to BAM! Now you know everything!
This is BAM, Now You Know Everything. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you're having a great Tuesday. This is where we get weird, and we hope you're a little weirder. Do we like that intro? You let us know if you can think of a better one. Today, the cool things that we are talking about, we're pretty excited because spooky season continues. Another certified spooky episode today as we're talking a little bit about what gives it the flavor that we love. What is it that is so delicious about this? Also, we got some really amazing news about some real life things that are going to be happening. And I believe you did a little bit of a deep dive on an interesting topic from history regarding the Radium girls. Is that right?
I did. It was about our Halloween costumes, thinking about, you know, you always want to be a little bit on the edge or a little bit unique. And I heard about this horrible injustice, you know, true to my nature. And I became kind of hyper fixated on their stories. And I just thought it would be a cool costume. And you'll understand why, like when I go into the depths.
Ooh, can't wait to hear about it. So, the scariest part of our episode today is actually going to be our confessions.
Ooh.
So, I think we wanted to confess maybe a little bit about the dark side or the crazy, silly side of trying to be a business lady. So maybe my confession is that I completely forgot about something that we tried to sign up to do months ago. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Jess, to explain a little bit more about it because it's kind of a shared confession this week. So tell the audience
because
about
we
it.
both got this news. I got it in my inbox because I had sent an email out. So Nico and I had this plan because we're both launching these collections. We both have short story collections that are live. You can pre-order them. You know, we talk about them all the time. And we just know that an in-person event is most of the time the most successful thing as an indie author and indie press. So it's kind of like we needed to do it. And we reached out to, I don't know, like 4 or 5 indie shops. I reached out to a game shop because I'm a nerd and I like board games and they have cool books. And I was like, you'd like this, maybe? Never heard anything back from them, which is understandable. I screen my calls too. So like, I get it. You don't know me and I'm just like a random in the message boards or whatever. But then we were like, oh, we can even just do Barnes & Noble, which is still something that we're kicking back and forth. But Nico and I don't live in the same state. So coordinating a Barnes & Noble thing, even though it's free and supposedly easy, not for me, apparently. So we, one day after recording, just were like, hey, let's like just dive into these cons. And like, we love Comic Cons. I went to one where it had amazing vendors for dice and books and like all this cool shit. And we have cool shit. And I was like, a con could be perfect and we could dress weird. And it was like all this stuff. We were like, just coming out with ideas. So we landed on a couple different conventions that were happening up in like the Michigan, Illinois kind of area. And we landed on WindyCon because it was speculative fiction, which is what we do. And it seemed kind of perfect. Now here's where the confession part comes in for me. Nico may have forgotten, but I procrastinated signing us up because I'm a procrastinator. So what I did is I thought it said I had until July 30th. No, it was like July 12th or something. I don't remember the deadline. All I know is that it was the end of July when I sent our information in. And of course, because I didn't want it to like go to the ether, because I was in charge of this. Like, you know, like when you're in charge of something and you're like, wow, it looks like I'm half-assing this because I literally don't know what to do because I've never done this before. Like, I've never reached out to anybody to coordinate an event for me, or let alone a business partner, let alone have merchandise. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I just, rely on Old Faithful, which is drafting a nice email. So I went in there and I was like, Indie Creator Collective is associated with Newton Press. We're both indie authors. We both have cool collections coming out that are all about speculative fiction. And we're nerds, so let us in, okay? I'll pay anything. And because they have, tables. I think like a table is 100, a table with like a little thingy is 200, and then a big old booth is 300. And I was like, we'll pay 300 for a freaking table. I don't care. I just want to get there because I know, for some reason, I just know like that's the key for us. You know what I mean? Like that's what we got to do. We got to push it through. So
Pisces Powers was like, this is what must be done.
This is what happens. So, but then, I saw that the date, was not correct. And I immediately was like, well, Nico, this is never going to happen, actually, because, we're just not going to do an event. Maybe I'll just, come up and we'll go to the Barnes & Noble, have like 5-10 books on me, and we were just going to like scavenge what we could from this idea that wasn't as cool as
and
the
then
con.
go to Wayne National Forest or whatever,
and then
Mammoth Caves.
Then we just started talking about, let's go here. Let's go to Italy. Let's go. We're just world travelers now. And
dream big.
Anything except book stuff. It's kind of what
this could help. You don't know.
Yeah, it could. Maybe Italians would love our short stories collections.
The illustrator for the art that I licensed for the for the anthology is Italian.
Oh, perfect. Maybe she'll let us stay with her. Okay? Yeah. I don't know. But then
back to reality.
Okay, yeah. Because we were getting a little bit delusional there with some of our...
But I love it.
Some of our travel plans. I still think we could do all of those things. It's just maybe not within the next 4 months.
Okay, in due time.
Life is, crazy enough as it is. But anyway, so... After all that, we're going to WindyCon. It's happening in November 7th, I believe. Mm-hmm. I know it's that whole weekend. Yep. We'll be there. We'll have copies of Forbidden Fruit and Where Magic is Made. I talked to a few artists today because, of course, I'm so freaking excited. And we're talking about making cute Cthulhu stickers, like Cthulhu stickers, but making them cute. And there's a Cthulhu sticker ideas coming out, and they're working on some cool prints and everything for us to bring with us. So we've got art on deck, we've got stickers on deck, we've got books on deck. So anyway, I opened this email, and I'm alone in a conference room. And I'm working on the Fissures of Barrenwood. I'm just like, and then I'm like making an ad because when you're a business lady, you got to do everything. And I see this email and I'm like, it says, "You're confirmed. Congratulations, you're in." And I was like, what? And at first I thought it was like some Ko-Fi ad. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know I'm in. I've been in, man. Like, I've been here. But I looked closer and it was the WindyCon and I was like, ah! And I literally was just pacing around. I voice messaged Nico right away. I was like, hey, we're in. Oh my God. Holy shit. What is happening? Like, nutso bananas walking around.
I listened to it on mute in a meeting and my face was like, I'm listening. Yeah. It was very cool.
Yeah, it just was like, oh, it's so cool. And then, the sky of it all, the celestial of it all, like the eclipse of it all, like, watching all these videos that's like, oh, Sagittarius risings, Pisces, this house, you're going to get great career news. Your personal life is going to be amazing or horrible. Like, like all this
Always
stuff.
horrible.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, maybe a career thing will happen. Maybe miraculously where magic is made goes viral. I don't know. I'm just going to like push it out there. And then this happens and I'm like, thank you.
Yes, please. Also, this is even when this episode drops, we're going to be in the middle of like that limbo period between the two eclipses where usually shit doesn't even happen. So this could just be a practice round, warm up.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's really cool. I'm trying to keep my cool about it, not get too like, what can happen with the ego. But I am, it just gives us a goal and a destination. I don't know if you feel like this because you're kind of in the same timeline with like the book is done, the manuscript is finalized, you've had your proof, you got your proof copy, you're making special orders, but you're not like actively having to do the same amount of workload for that project.
Fair.
You have other projects that you have a lot of workload for. Like I'm not taking anything away from you. But it's like you want to push it out, right? But there's only so much pushing that you can do in this stage because you're like,
you don't want to advertise too hard before you have it.
Right. But then you have these other gurus that are like, indie author's top mistake is not talking about their book early enough. And I'm like, wait, how early do I have to talk about it? I've been talking about it have I talked about it too long? Maybe I have. I don't know. Maybe I haven't been talking about it enough. Maybe no one knows anything about anything that I'm doing. And then you're like kind of caught like, do I do more? Do I do less? And you're walking that tightrope of intuition and everything else. And this to me was just like reaffirming. We're doing everything we can. We have opportunities coming our way. And it's okay to have that brief break between the launch,
Yep.
So
it's not that long, right? Just
no.
a couple weeks. I will say it's hard. Like how much can you like hustle and feel motivated by a digital mock-up of your book? You know what I mean? You want to have it in your hands.
And like even the proof copy, like when I first got the proof copy, I was like, yeah. And then now I'm like, okay, I want the real one.
Its shine has worn off.
It hasn't worn off, but like I'm trying not to fiddle with the manuscript too much, right? I'm going to do one final version because I reread my introduction and I was like, ugh. And like came at it with fresh eyes and was like, okay, what is the purpose that I was trying to say? Because sometimes I talk the way I write sometimes, or I write the way I talk sometimes, where it's like, I get to the point eventually, right? But sometimes when I'm writing and I have to share a piece of myself, I don't want to do that. But
that's why we write fiction.
Yeah. But, when you're writing a foreword, I can only make it sound as fiction as possible. I have to like put the business lady hat on. Then I think about all the forewords and introductions I skip. Like I skip a lot.
Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, this could either make or break it for some stickler out there, or it never gets read. So obviously on Substack, I posted like my NPCs for Baron of Fisher. The Fishers of Barrenwood. Why do I get my own board game title wrong? Like, what is wrong with me? Okay, anyway. But this is an example of a side quest, and it's funny. And it's not really spoiling the story overarching, but it does kind of give you a glimpse into like some encounters you could have if you choose this game mode to play.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay? All right. So, Ms. Remy Dees is related to Miss Deeds, but whatever. She runs an apothecary, obviously, because she's making remedies. And okay, so as the party travels through town, they run into a pixie waving her arms frantically around a child's smoking head. "Oh no, oh no, oh no!" she squeaks. The child begins to sob quietly. Conversation starter options. "What are you doing to that poor boy? Do you need some water? Is this the curse everyone's talking about?" Answer to all of them, because I'm not going to go through and make like individual frickin' things. Okay. This is just a simple case of a potion gone wrong. The small boy looks up at the players, only his eyes seem too old for his skull. And when he speaks, a deep, raspy voice comes out. "A potion gone wrong? Yeah, more like an incompetent novice with access to some leaves." He swats away the now teary-eyed pixie. "She promised me hair, thick and glorious, perfect for winning back Margaret. Instead," he glares towards forlorn Remy, "I'm 20 years younger and somehow have less hair than I had before. Are any of you blessed? Could you fix this for me?" He gestures to himself with raised, hopeful brows. Before any can respond, Ms. Remy speaks up. "Boris, you know how dangerous it is for the blessed. It's not polite to ask such things." She turns to the party. "What I think went wrong is I grabbed the wrong weed." Her eyes slid to Boris and then sighed. "I was in a rush and I just grabbed the closest one near the well this morning, but I don't think it had reached maturity yet. Hence why Boris now looks like this." She smiles flatly in his direction before looking back at the party with pleading eyes. "You think you could get me one? Another one with yellowing leaves this time?"
Is this a trichome reference? I love this.
So that's just it. I won't like spoil how it ends for the party and stuff. You get rewards for every side quest, that kind of thing.
Love it.
And this is an optional one, because some people are like, side quest. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. Just give me storyline or get out. But with a board game, it's kind of like you want it to be replayable. So I'm like adding in a couple of these little Easter eggs as we go on. But I was laughing my ass off when I was writing it today. I was like, this is fucking funny.
Two things. One, what great world building inherent in the dialogue. Top drawer.
Oh,
two, I can tell that you were a really great teacher from that.
Because my read aloud. Welcome to class.
And the fact that you like took pleasure in the kid crying. Because it has to come out somewhere, and you weren't doing it in the classroom.
No. And sometimes those kids, they need to have a good cry, okay? It's healthy, it's natural, let it out. But I just thought it was just so funny to make like light of these mishaps, spells and stuff.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of the board game is that like magic wielders are being persecuted. So the blessed. So it's like kind of showing the repercussions of these new sanctions and stuff that's placed on the people of society, or this society in Barrenwood. So I have to balance out the gory and tragedy and intrigue with a little funny, or I die. So
mass appeal. It's balanced.
Gotta have it. Well, thank you for indulging.
Love it.
Me.
So that's a good quick plug.
I'm still like figuring shit out. This is like my baby and it's the first one, and sometimes you fuck up the first one, right? So
Yeah, I was the firstborn, so. But I was also born in the absolute best season of them all, the fall.
It's coming up.
I feel like, yeah. Oh, but I was segueing into our first little mini topic here about the fall and all the shit that we love about it. The flavor of fall. What is it that we really love? Listen, I know I was complaining about a hot snap earlier, but I feel like fall starts in September, and I've gotten a peek of it already, and I just can't wait to be like stepping on crunchy leaves out on the sidewalk, you know?
Yeah, like fall is just so magical. And I wish I knew what it was now, but I just don't. I get like fall adjacent in like January, so hold out for me. But I like to pretend at home
Yeah.
that it is. So like I decorate my house all like not with leaves. I would love to like just throw leaves. Will would have a heart attack if I just brought leaves inside the house. He'd be like, "Where did these come from?"
This is how we get bugs.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a taste of Midwest fall.
I know, and I've never been. So I've never been to that neck of the woods before. I've always just been on the East Coast, like strict East Coast, never over Midwest at all. So I'm excited to experience it. I'm excited to experience Chicago, like in general. I know there's like, some shit going on there.
Worried. Would be lying if I said I wasn't.
I'm worried, but I also like, I think obviously we think everything happens for a reason. That's part of this freaking podcast. So I feel like our invitation to this zone, so to speak, is purposeful. And I think we speak on these topics a lot and we have beliefs in these topics, and we will be cautious the way we need to be. But every con I go to brings the same people with the Bibles walking up and down saying we're going to go to hell because we're dressing up like anime characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm just like, why are you
Why are you here?
against like cartoons, video games? Like, how is that necessarily against the Bible? Because it can't be a tech thing because you drove your car here. Because it's not like Amish people are protesting in the middle of the street, against it, against cons or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if they're just like trying to spread Jesus awareness or what. I don't talk to them because I avoid.
I guess the profits from a general admission ticket are still profits. So
yeah, like was that like a double like prophetic or
yes?
Okay. Because I was like, should I laugh at this?
Even if it's strictly a comment on capitalism, you're allowed.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I don't want to take away from his serious moment, but it was funny to me, so I just also want to laugh a little. But yeah, so are you a pumpkin?
I love pumpkin.
Okay. Yeah.
What other things? Mums on porches. Is it too basic or are you for it?
I love mums. My mom's favorite flower is a mum, or maybe not her all-time favorite, but it's in her top. So we had mums like everywhere. And they're pretty. Like
they last forever.
The purpley ones, I love it. Like the magenta ones, that's fall. That's fall to me.
Perfect.
I was going to say, are you a pumpkin spice or an apple cider?
Ooh.
There's only two choices for the basic question.
I used to be apple cider. Now I'm pumpkin spice because I feel like apple cider, anything is too acidic. And I'm old.
I think apple is too sweet sometimes.
Yeah.
So I like it every now and then. Okay, I'm not knocking it. But I like, there's this dessert that's like a pumpkin spice cookie with pumpkin spice vanilla ice cream.
Excuse me.
And it's like a snickerdoodle, and oh my God, it's the most delicious thing. And so that made me a pumpkin spice girly. But I'm not a coffee person, so I'm not getting a pumpkin spice latte, you know?
First of all, lattes are heaven. Any latte. But yeah, I totally get that it's a very divisive topic. But I mean, just think of the antioxidant count in nutmeg and cinnamon. So really, you're doing the body good.
Yeah, exactly. We're all about wellness here, self-care. Okay?
Yeah, you're fighting inflammation with every latte.
Well, I guess apple cider doesn't have the apple cider vinegar in it. Because if it did, then we could say, oh, your colon, yay, happy, cleanse.
I love this so much. Yeah. But an apple cider donut.
Yeah.
Not bad.
An apple crawler, like with those like, oh, no, what is it called? It starts with an
like
F.
a fritter.
Yeah, fritter.
Flaky.
I'm all about desserts, okay? Holiday desserts, obviously. So I think it starts in fall. And I love Halloween. Favorite holiday, right? Obviously. I feel like I could say that. But I'm not one of those people that gets really sad when Halloween's over. I am like one of those people that's like, oh, it's just ramping up. It's getting magical on magical on magical on magical because we're going to go into November and you have Thanksgiving where you have this feast and you have these like traditions if you have them. Even if you don't, you get turkey and cranberry sauce, like whatever. And then you have solstice, right? You have like Yule, solstice, Christmas, Hanukkah, like all these holidays around this time. And everybody is stressed out and sad. Or if they're in tune with like magical stuff, you can just be feeling awakening, fresh start, new leaf. Like I just feel like it's another chance to assess, reflect, and get back on. Well, I'm bored, type of deal. So I get excited. This is like the start of magic season for me.
Hell yeah.
Summer, what's magical about summer? Remind me.
I fucking hate summer.
I just don't think like there's, of course, equinoxes and solstice, summer solstice, right? And like some whatever. I'm not for it. Okay, I don't, my ancestors, I guess, didn't really like summer. I inherited it. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't, we talked about last episode, you can't even be haunted if it's hot out.
Yeah, exactly. Can't even be haunted.
What else? What other type of like rituals do you like about this time of year? I love that it's introspective. I love that it's darker.
A ritual that I done recently, because I didn't realize Publix down here, the grocery store, sold brooms, cinnamon brooms. And then, so you hang them up and they make your house smell like cinnamon and they look like a cute little broomstick. And the crunchy moms are going to get at me because apparently it's bad for like your whatever nose. It blocks up some senses because it's overwhelming, but I like the smell of cinnamon. And it looks like a cute little tiny witch broom. And you hang it up on your wall, and it's like a decoration with a purpose. And I love that,
Yeah. Enjoy it. Also, the crunchy moms that I know, come for me in the comments, but like the crunchy moms that I know, their bodies are still going to be riddled with the same amount of plastic as the rest of us. You can't escape it.
No, I mean, we've fucked ourselves, okay? It's just the
have a little
that
cinnamon.
enjoy breathing in, some natural cinnamon. It's natural. It's not like it's not plastic cinnamon. It's not even waxy cinnamon. It's just cinnamon sticks twisted all around. So
love it.
I guess it just like overpowers the nose or something. There's a science behind it. Someone let us know, okay? I'm not a scientist and I don't remember. So I'm not going to.
Yeah, teach us our lesson. Now, you said that your favorite is Halloween. Why?
Because I'm a spooky bitch, okay?
Yes.
I've always felt that Halloween, like I said, is the start of like a magical season. Like I just have always felt more open on Halloween. I've always felt more like akin to my not darker side in the way that everybody's gonna think I mean, but like just like everybody is into the same stuff that I'm into for the month. Like
Yeah.
horror movies and spooky shows and weird stories and like this long forgotten stuff, you know? Like it's like everybody's being weird, you know? And I love that. And the candy, obviously.
Also, the costumes.
Yeah, and I like the costumes. And every year I say I'm going to do a really great costume, and I think I can think of 2 times I've done a really great costume. Only 2. And because I procrastinate as per my confession. Do you have like a top costume? Like do you remember like your most favorite one?
When I was a kid, no. I mean, I do remember them, but I don't have any favorites. They were all kind of like, so I lived in Maine, right? It was always
Mhm.
cold. Cold as
Yeah.
fuck every Halloween. So you had to ruin your costume by wearing like turtlenecks underneath and then jackets on top. And I don't know. It was
Yeah.
always like very, very cold in the dark in Maine. But as an adult, you're not going trick-or-treating. You can totally have awesome costumes and just get creative with it and then go drink at the bar with your friends or at a party or something like that.
Yeah.
So definitely adult costumes. No shade to people who are talking about those sexy costumes, but I used to always like to wear weird ones.
I could totally see that. Like, okay, so weird,
Surprise, surprise.
weird, like funny, like you wanted like a punny one, or weird, like creepy pasta. I'm in the back rooms all of a sudden creature.
Any, and then also creative. Maybe like ways to make 3D reality costumes from 2D cartoons or something like that. Like
Okay.
logistically, how can we make this cool? I think one time I dressed up as a piece of sushi because I didn't have a lot. I had like one of those really tall belts and I just got 2 pieces of construction paper and painted it like salmon, like a cut of salmon, and had one in front and one in back.
That's
that was
so
okay.
cute. I like that.
But normally I would try, and I had this series of Halloweens year after year where I would just try to be different Tim Burton characters because it was so easy, but also really heavy on like the makeup, like effects makeup. So yeah, those were really cool. Edward Scissorhands was one, and I even made scissors to go on my gloves out of cardboard and tinfoil.
How did you function at the party? Like,
Gloves!
like when you went to pour a drink.
Because I put the scissors on the back of my hands, like Wolverine style.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you could still function. I'm just
Yeah.
imagining you with like these chunky cardboard pieces, like, you know, going around.
They were still unwieldy, but
Are you good at makeup? Like, are you good at like the special effects one?
yeah, for sure. I used to use just like cheap makeup too, and in the dark, it doesn't have to be like flawless. But I will say, it's so easy to do makeup on younger skin. Now, it probably would be like less fun.
I don't. Your skin is still good, girl. Like, I don't know.
You're so sweet. You're so sweet.
I need everybody, like every listener to like if you're watching, like I think she doesn't have eyes, everybody.
You guys, no. It's like logistically, again, like it's hard to build up really heavy pigment
Oh.
on skin that's a little bit more lax, but you can really build up pigment on, skin that's a little bit younger. It stays where you put it. It doesn't wrinkle or cake or anything like that. Not fishing for compliments, but it's a lot more difficult for older folks.
I don't think you're fishing for compliments, but I do think you need a reality check. Anyway, going in. I think if I had the patience and practiced doing a makeup look, I could do it. I've pulled off a few different types of makeups before, but sometimes I don't, and it looks awful. So then I end up just like wiping it all off and pretending I'm something else, like because I'm like I'm done with it. But this was gonna be another like part of my confession. Because of the marketing, like last time, I'm getting pulled in again. This is like a support group. Because there's this palette that's going around on TikTok right now that is, and like all these girls that can do these epic clown makeup, like are like, oh, you should get this palette, and they have like the most amazing, and I'm like, delusional. I could be a clown. I could do that. I'm like getting delusional about it. And I went in and I was like to Will, I was like, babe, I think I'm going to be a clown for Halloween. And he was like, no, I already have plans for our costume. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe one night I'll be a clown. I don't know. But then it kind of made me not buy the palette because I'm being something else. So a clown is on my back burner, maybe for next year. Maybe I'll be a clown at the con. I don't know.
Oh my God. Yes, such a good idea. Also, another Pisces famous clown would be Gacy. Gacy.
I know. Okay. I also, if I really wanted to be horrific.
Oh my God, you could be Gacy, I could be Bundy.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. But also BTK is a Pisces. And so
perfect.
I could look
harder
up
costume.
But I could look up what he wore for Halloween with his kids and be extra weird and extra
nobody
gross.
Would get it.
And nobody would get it. And then I would kind of feel gross having to explain myself. Actually, I'm what BTK wore in the Halloween of 1978. No, actually, the more I talk about it, I don't like that. Oh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
What are you actually going to be, you and Will, this year?
We're going to be...
if you can disclose it.
He's going to be the mayor of Townsville, and I'm going to be Miss Bellum, is what we're going to do. And the internet really doesn't know that I have the butt I have. But most of the costumes that my husband picks have to do with the
butt-centric.
He's butt-centric, always. And he's just like, this will look so good. Like, he's so excited. And then he has to wear, like, this tiny little hat and, like, this mustache or whatever. And I just think it will be so cute and so fun. And we're looking at this purse that looks like the phone from Powerpuff Girls that I would have. It's me, Powerpuff Girls. It's me, the mayor. Whatever. Just do, like, little bits. So that'll be fun. And I'm always asking him, what are we going to be for Halloween? Because, you don't want to think a costume and then, like, your other person is just like, well, we'll be whatever you want to be, babe. And so this is kind of the first time in a while we have, like, a good couple's costume discussed. So I'm excited about it.
Very cool. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think I love Halloween, and I love seeing all these costumes. And I have a lot of cosplayer friends. So I think that's why I feel the pressure. Because they're so good at makeup, and they have these closets full of, like, cinematic stuff and stuff they make, like...
Yeah, so costly in terms of time or money.
Yeah, like my one friend, Danica, she makes all of her stuff live on stream and out of styrofoam and like all this cool shit. And I always watch it and I'm always like, I'm just so amazed at how talented she is. But I'm not that delusional. I'm not crafty. I'm a writer and an idea haver, and I can draw a little bit, but I am not let me take this plywood and make it into a sword. I mean, if I had the right tools and the time, maybe. But I'm a procrastinator. I'm never going to do something like that.
Yeah.
You have to have that extra DNA. You know what I mean? That extra, like...
The stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
Persistence.
Yeah, exactly. Which all you artists have, you know?
A little insanity.
Just a dash, a small dash. But one year, and, you know, segue or not, I really wanted to be a Radium girl. And I wanted to be a Radium girl. And I thought, oh, I'd get all this, like, glow-in-the-dark makeup. I'd cut out. So one of the things, if you're not familiar with the story of Radium girls, there are these young girls. They were hired to work at a plant, a uranium plant. And they had to create paints and these different things to add a glow to it. And the girls would leave glowing with the dust, you know, and feeling really beautiful and sparkly. And they were all really young, too, like 16 to early 20s. And the company, even though they figured out it was radioactive, eventually didn't disclose the dangers of it. And these girls were painting their teeth and their nails with the radioactive substance and glowing, you know, like it was really horrific. And eventually, because we know with radiation now, because we fight cancer with it or, you know, use it as preventative measures. But even when we talk about, you know, fallout and anything else, we know that radioactive substances burrow. They go deeper and deeper, and they're very hard to control where they go. And back in this time, and I'm not even going to pretend like I remember the date, guys. I just don't remember the date.
World War II-ish, right?
Yeah, it's like it's around that time frame. And there was a case of one of the board members or one of the higher ups. I'm using terms I don't know, but one of the higher ups, he was carrying the package of this radioactive substance in his breast pocket of his coat, and it burned all the way through his clothing to his skin, and it kept going deeper and deeper, and it was like it got out of control very quickly. And these girls weren't putting that much on their body, their skin, and their teeth, but they were doing it all the time on their bones, you know, and they lost their jaws, like all the way off. And the cuts that they went when they went to have surgery wouldn't heal. They were just bleeding profusely. And, you know, it was fatal, obviously, but it wasn't instantly fatal. They lived with this horror for a long time, and they were suing their company, right? And I wish I just knew the name of the company, but I don't. I just know the story. I know the main details, guys. This is just what it is. This isn't a true crime podcast, okay? There's other podcasts out there. You can search it.
This is a chatting podcast.
But they, these freaking assholes dragged out the timing of these hearings, depositions, these trial dates, while they were on yachts, going on vacation in, like, you know, they were vacationing in Europe in some of them. They were just sending telegrams, delaying, pretty much knowing that the defendants were going to die. Or not the defendants, the plaintiffs were going to die. And it was just so evil. Like, every time you think you know how evil people are capable of, you learn something new, and you're just like, wow, you know, like the root of it all, the money of it all. Like they couldn't even admit fault and said, you know, I will pay your medical bills. I will pay for the funeral. I will pay for these things.
It would be such a pittance.
Yeah. And they don't want to, because they want to just bury it under the rug, like who cares about these girls anyway, right? And I just thought it was, after hearing this story last year, I was like, it would be such a cool costume to be a Radium girl, because time period, cute outfit.
Rosie the Riveter and the clothes.
Yeah, and a horrible, gruesome, grotesque thing. But at the same time, being able to be like, I was going to do a Radium Girl zombie back for her revenge, because of course I have to have a backstory, right? I wanted Will to be the CEO that I was haunting.
Eating the brain out.
Yeah, and, getting my revenge.
And it would bring attention to it, right?
Yeah, and just sort of know that stuff like this has been going on for so long, and unfortunately it still goes on in different ways, and it's like, we know the root of evil is greed. I feel like it's common sense now to realize that, and so it just felt almost important Halloween costume to me, as silly as it sounds saying it out loud. I know it's not silly, but to say it I'm going to a party of 10 people and I'm going to be a Radium girl, and it's important because it's a cause, it's not, but
no,
it
I
is.
get it, yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the story of the Radium girls and the origin of the reason I love Halloween. The costumes, the stories.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
God, we're predictable, but I love it.
Hey, predictability is important for comfortability. Listeners, we do it for you. Watchers.
Yeah. It's selfless.
It's selfless, okay? Predictability, we know them.
Oh my gosh.
This has been Bam, Now You Everything. I have to go. I'm receiving a phone call. Townsville needs to be saved.
Bye.